BBAI stock is absolutely crushing it as the rest of the market is falling. So let's take a look at the stock. It is so crazy to say this, but I swear that every time we look at BBAI, we almost always are looking at it at a point where it's made some big move. And you might look at this today and you might say, "Will, it's up 2%. That's not a big move." It's almost like it's a big move because it's a lack of a move. Does that make sense? Look at all these stocks, guys. The S&P 500 is down over 1.5%. The whole market sold off. Rocket Lab down almost 7%. Tesla was down 2.5%. All of the companies really were looking down, except for a few AI companies and CTM. And I have to say, in our stock trading live session today, one thing that we looked at was this momentum. Like right after the session, I'm looking at the quantum AI stocks. A lot of them sold off today. We get into here CTM and it's up about $500 plus. And that's truly a volume play. It's up 85% today. That's amazing. Still down on the portfolio a little bit because quantum AI and the widespread market is down today a little bit. So got to consider that. But BBAI, let's take a look at the stock. I've been really impressed with its ability to be consistent. But the thing that a lot of people might not realize about BBAI is that we've seen it not be consistent in the past where it's pumped and it's dumped. It's been in the past right here, pumped and it's dumped. But this time has been much different. I think that the thing that excites me about BBAI is how it's really been healthy. It's pushed up, it's pulled back, it's pushed up, it's pulled back, and it's still remained bullish. So if we look at the trend lines, again, we can mark out almost every time it's established these resistances, like right there, you could see that it established that resistance as a support, right? And then it established this kind of resistance right here. There's a resistance level, and it established that as a support. And then you can see right here, here's kind of like resistance consolidation, support right here. And then you got support, 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 support. So resistance acting as support again. So what does that mean? That's really bullish sentiment, right? That means that we're seeing indication of higher highs. Now, if we look over here, we got this resistance right here. Okay, kind of even down in here, that consolidation, and that level acted as a support again for BBAI here in pre-market, and it bounced. It continue up. It's up 2%. Now, to see it push up and really break above, one thing we wanted to see was higher highs, which we got. We saw it get back to this previous level of that $4.50. We see it hit $4.70 down from what was really $2 when we started analyzing it. $4.70 down to now what is $4.30. So holding above this previous resistance and now actually getting a little rejected. You can see got rejected right here at 450, which is a previous resistance here and a previous resistance here. So to see it really push up and bull up, we'd see it break above this previous resistance and continue its upward direction. Now, outside of that, guys, could see a sell-off though. I would love to see it continue up, and it's quite possible. When we look at, this trend, that's a little exaggerated, right? We had maybe an exaggeration with Fed that I don't think it will sell all the way back down to $3. I think it would be healthy, I guess, long term to see that. But what we might see is that it could even retest this resistance again. So in other words, if you kind of you play a little bit more on only maybe not trend but resistances and supports, here's kind of like this support, this consolidation, here's like this resistance, here's like a resistance, and then there's a support. And so essentially what you'd be looking at is a retest down to here, and that might look like a weird line to you guys, but I'm basically going through from what is support here, support, to this is a less relevant but still a resistance level. You can see right here there's a resistance we mapped out, and then there is the resistance give or take, and there's the support. So right here, again, we can see it retest down to $4 possibly today, but really like to see that it's consistently pushing up. That's the technicals. There's three things we look at, right? We have first the market. This is AI. They work with Heathrow International Airport. They work with um, Denver International Airport, providing the technology for basically anybody to walk through and you get scanned. Have you guys been to the airport recently? I was just there at Denver International Airport. I used to live in Boulder, Colorado. I walked through every time I'd go travel, whether I was flying to California, Miami, or going to South America, and I would do the face scan and I could walk through quite easily. And that's a really cool technology. And they're working with Palantir as well. They have a partnership. So the market is good. The technicals still a little overextended, but healthy. Again, if we looked at that more bullish trend, this could have been a validation. Now we're going to see it break to higher highs. That would be not out of question for BigBear.AI, but does look a little overextended on the longer the near midterm. But on the short term, we could see it bull up here, establish new levels, and this could be that new level of support right here. Okay. So let's take a look at BBAI. Let's get into the financials really quick before we get into the news. So their financials were a bit concerning, right? The company's founded in 1988. They're a Maryland company. They've been growing significantly from an employment standpoint. They got a lot more people in their company. Their revenue is up 22% year over year, $41 million, which is good. But their net income was down negative $12 million, which is not anything insane. We've seen much more negative across the AI sector, especially when they're getting started with new tech. Diluted EPS, not too bad. The cost of revenue is up. It wasn't the most pretty, but you're buying kind of what could be with their new technology. And the operating income, negative 8 million, so 24% down. Net in cash is down, but outside of those things aren't too pretty. I think when we were looking at their earnings, we saw their earnings, and I don't know that they were actually on here. Yeah, June they were up. March, what was that, quarter one they were up, and then December, the past year they were up a lot more than in the past. So to still be up year over year on the revenue this year, it's a good sign. And then in June they were up, doing okay, and then in March things were down. So it's a little volatile, but not too bad. Let's take a look at the news really quick. Basically, for the financials, you need to know they're mediocre. All right. Some of the news that came out, a lot of price targets, a lot of big companies getting in and picking where they think the stock is going to, which happens. That's quite common. Outside of the hype, outside of all the people saying, "Oh, it's going to higher, it's going to $100 or whatever," they recently restructured their 182 million in debt with new structured convertible notes. It's good to see them managing it. They're managing their debt, they're restructuring it. Those are things you'd like to see. If we look into some of the specifics on it, it says they announced exchange agreements to swap approximately 182 million of existing 6% convertible senior notes due 2026 for 6% senior secured notes for 2029. So they basically, got the same interest rate, but extended their debt out an extra 3 years. So that's kind of the time horizons they're working on, a little bit longer. Positive, they say, is that this extension of debt maturity from 2026 to 2029 improves their financial flexibility, which is true. They can invest more heavily in AI. New notes are secured by company assets, reducing default risk, absolutely, and reduction of outstanding convertible notes from 200 million to 17 million. So they're paying off that debt aggressively. The negative is there's no new capital raised from the transaction, okay? High interest rates, yep, still 6 to 7%. It's up there. And additional restrictions through new covenants on debt liens in investments, potentially. Doesn't necessarily mean that there will be more restrictions. Seems like it's the same. Volume definitely increasing on the stock. I was looking on their website and they had some some good articles as well. But that's kind of gonna do. I didn't see any really big news. There was some contracts with Army, I believe, contracts with the Department of Defense. Maybe it was like related to Homeland Security. If you imagine, that's probably really valuable. They have that tech that can scan faces and be able to basically dox anyone and find everything about them pretty quickly. That's kind of crazy. But hey, it makes sense that that's where they're getting their contracts from with their large data and language models. They're integrated with AWS as well. So they got a major partner there, AI driven solutions. You got US Army, okay, and then just widespread cybersecurity in a lot of different states in the government. So something to consider. U.S. Intelligence Community, Department of Defense, various U.S. federal entities, and a little bit of the commercial sector. So looking good on the news. Everything has been pretty consistent with the news. The stock itself has been the most consistent that we've ever seen it as far as holding its trend, not looking like it's just going boom to up and down, right? But it's really, holding its trend. A little overextended, could see it pull back a little bit, but if it establishes that true bull, we're going to see it bounce right here and continue up and make higher highs and really maybe break out above that $5 range. We haven't seen it reach above there yet. I think they may have just been knocking on the door of $1 billion market cap. So they're pushing up pretty fast. So BigBear.AI, definitely look for a better entry, but I like it. We'll keep you guys updated on it. For those of you guys that would like to watch me trade live, I think there's going to be some opportunities here in the sell-off market open later this week. And I go live every day at market open. If you'd like to watch me trade live, there's StockMate. It's that second link in the description. Currently, you can get $150 off until the end of the year. And we also have a sale going on right now that if AMD stock hits $160 a share by March 20th and you buy within this current sale timeframe, then you'll get StockMate for free. That's right, 100% for free. All we have to see AMD do, essentially, is bounce here on this support. And if it bounces here and it goes up to here, 160 by March 20th, so you have 3 months, then I will refund and give you guys StockMate absolutely free if you buy within our time frame right now. Go check the website second link in the description for StockMate to watch me trade live there. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Hopefully I earned your thumbs up to consider subscribing. See you guys in the next video. Take care.